Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
difficult story to tell, not because of the devastation or the heartbreak, though there is plenty of both, but because of what it says about us as people. Over the past week, Central Texas has been underwater. Flash floods have ravaged communities, washed away homes, tearing apart families, and stealing lives that should have never been taken so soon. Among the victims were children. Beautiful, bright, innocent children. The Baker family lost all 3 kids. Zane, 9, Wyatt, 6, Emery, only 4 years old. They were swept away while trying to escape rising waters during a church gathering. These were children who made crafts in Sunday school, who laughed and played barefoot in the grass, who called their parents mommy and daddy with all the trust in the world. They are all gone. And yet, in the midst of this unbearable loss, something vile has crept into our collective conversations. Hatred. Disgusting, inhumane, senseless hatred. One pediatric physician from Texas, a healer, a person sworn to protect children, publicly mocked because they were Trump supporters or their family may have voted for Trump. A pastor's wife, a person of supposed faith, shared similar sentiments online, suggesting that these children represented privilege and colonialism. These were babies. When did our hearts turn to stone? We can debate politics, we can talk about policies and platforms, but when a child drowns in the arms of her parents, when siblings die clinging to one another in the dark, cold waters of Texas floods, we don't point the finger, we don't check skin color, we don't justify tragedy with ideology. We weep, we hold each other, we show up with casseroles, blankets, and love. Or at least we used to. This isn't about left or right. It's not about race or religion. It's about humanity. If we cannot cry for these children, if we cannot offer grace to grieving parents, if we cannot look at a casket and feel something sacred, then we are already lost. So I ask you now, wherever you are, take a moment, not just to hear their names, but to hold them in your heart. And let's be a little kinder. Children, not symbols, not statements, not political pawns. Children. Let us not become so poisoned by our ideologies that we forget how to love. Let us not let outrage win over empathy. Let us not scroll past suffering like it's a background noise. To those who spew hate at the dead, I ask, what happened to you? And to the rest of us, I say, this is the moment to rise. This is the moment to reclaim compassion and to bring back our humanity. Floods can wash away homes, but they shouldn't wash away our souls. If you want to help, go find a family who's hurting. Pray for them. Donate if you can. Share their story with love. Be the light in all of this darkness. Because right now, the people of Central Texas don't just need water to recede. They need the flood waters of hate to end too. Let love be louder, and let's bring humanity back to America and love into our hearts. God bless.
Truly, Bullhorn Betty! Yay! Got applause! What can I say? I know. Good Wednesday morning to my beautiful beans. It's nice to see you, Miss Melanie Eeyore Blues. How are you? Today Detective Whiskers up in the house. Don, good morning. Our beautiful Sonia is up in the house. It is nice to see you, little orange man. I was peeking. I was creeping in the chat. So I know little orange man's on like cup number 5. I got my beloved Nick the Hat. We support Nick the Hat over here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We love Nick the Hat. We think we should take the green tape off his lips. We think we should take, but I think this is cup number 3 for me. Little orange man's got me beat. That's impossible. Dun dun dun. It is good to see you all. Frank is up in the house this morning. Good morning, Frank. Frank. Lisa B. always. Hey. Good morning. Who else do we have? Outer Banks is here on time. Let's give a round of applause. Oh, good morning, my love. Are you feeling okay this morning? Christy, it's nice to see you. Bookworm, it's nice to see you as well. Kathleen, good morning. Donna, good morning. It's nice to see you. Nanette, it's nice to see you. Dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches. YouTuber, it's good to see you. Miss Robin up in the house. We've got Unicorn Indiana. Good morning, gorgeous. Panda Bear's mom. Hey, my love. Good morning. Who else do we have? Phil from across the pond has blessed us with her presence. Adrian, it's nice to see you. VA, Big Mac Mike up in the house. Hopefully my sound is working. Otherwise, you guys are hearing some really obnoxious and annoying little pauses in the show. Medic Biker, it's nice to see you. Good morning, West Virginia Holler Girl, me and you. Betty fan. Hey. Who else do we have? Travis, good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well. It says, good morning, my friend. You really do a great job on these cases. You're like a little sister. Aw, thank you. That's sweet. That's sweet. Patty Lee, it's nice to see you. Good morning. I know. Did you guys feel the goosebumps? I love that. When I do that, it's not getting like millions of views or anything, but whenever I listen to a video and it's my own video and I produce it, that was a little loud. You guys know what happened there. I was rushing to get music behind it and I was checking it on my phone, didn't check it on the computer, and it had a little louder background music than I would like to have, but at least you could hear me. It didn't drown out my voice too awfully bad. It was a rush job this morning. I should have done it yesterday. It would have been much better produced, but it's produced better on YouTube. So you got our TikTok. So you guys can go over there and check it out because the volume, the background music is perfect on TikTok. So anyways, but I like that, when I read something and it gives, and even though it's my content and I produced it, if it gives me goosebumps when I'm done listening to it, then I like that. And that one was just because I've seen such horrible statements from people. This is what bothered me about hearing the statements that I heard from the people that I heard them from. Like, I expect there to be douchebags. Okay. Come on now. We're not stupid. We've been doing this a long time. We expect there to be some D-bags. Okay. We expect there to be some a-holes. We expect there to just be unkind people. But I think what shocked us to our core and our bones is the people that were making these comments. A pediatrician, a woman that clearly has disdain for children of a political or of a certain political class. And it makes me very concerned if she has that much disdain where she's okay with seeing babies wash away. A pediatrician. It makes me wonder, what has she done to children that, because she has this horrible disdain for potentially their parents and their voting? That would scare me if my child went to her, I would have been terrified, especially if I voted a certain way. Did she intentionally hurt my child? Just stuff like that makes you just. And then a preacher's wife, talking about the skin color of these children. And okay, so maybe we don't have the best clergy in the world, but this is the shocker. This lady was married to a white guy, and spewing this racist crap about white people. It's a clergy person, a wife of a clergyman. I'm sorry, that's what enraged me. I mean, I have a high level of D-bag and a-holism. Okay, I can deal with it. But what shocked me to my core were who the people were that were making these statements. These horrible, immoral, inhumane, disgusting statements about precious angels that we value. We don't care what their religion is. We don't care what their skin color is. And trust me, I could give two blessed F's about how their parents voted. They're children. And we need to remember that. And if our hearts are so blessed cold that we're okay with the loss of life of children, I fear the future of the United States, without a doubt. Absolutely fear the future of the United States if this is our future representation. That is scary. Wake up, folks. Wake up. Woman literally went to school to help babies. A pediatrician. I can't. So anyways, Jody, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning, Shirley H. Carla, it's nice to see you. Nancy, good morning. Good morning. Who else do we have up here that I haven't said hi to yet? Randa, I got your name right the first time in probably 2 years. Gigi for life. Rosemary, it's nice to see you. Rosemary, I think after the whole Brooks Hauk thing, are you using a maiden name? Are we sure you're not Rosemary Hauk? Oh, don't smack me. I'll smack myself. There you go. Chaos Bunny, it's nice to see you. Heather, good morning. Betty! Heather! Oh, good gracious. Cheryl, good morning. It's nice to see you. I think we got just about everybody. I'm going to keep going here. Oh, it's me, Jen's up in the house. Good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well. Joanne, Crystal Pistol, it's nice to see you. Jet's mom. It's so funny when I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I scroll just a little bit more. And then there's more. Jet's mama. We got to get it correct. Jet's mama. It's nice to see you, love. Nice to see you. Letty, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Saint, good morning. TD Dean, trust the process. It's nice to see you all this beautiful, wonderful morning. SRK. I didn't see Pete or Skittles. So if you guys are on the replay, big shout out to you. If I forget somebody, SPED teacher and Judy Jones. We haven't said hi to them in a while, so they might be watching from the bushes. I know they watch. So good morning, you beautiful ladies. DC, it's nice to see you. Patty, good morning. And a big shout out to my Rennie Ren. Southern Charm, good morning. Thank you. God bless you for that. Thank you so much. I think that is, DC, good morning. Did I say hi to you, DC? I can't remember. My brain. I think I'm getting early. Maybe I shouldn't joke about that. Who knows? God doesn't like ugly. We know that works. D's mystery, soon to be a Gigi. Good morning, my love. I hope you are doing well. Linda, it's nice to see you. Good morning. And we're finally to the end. If I missed you by chance, I started yesterday. It was completely completely, utterly unintentional. So good morning to all of you. And if you're on the replay, good morning to each and every one of you watching the replay, or afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching the replay. I'm Bullhorn Betty. I cover true crime. And although the Texas floodwaters are not really true crime, well, I don't know. I'm getting some reports here, guys. I've never heard of cloud seeding before. Never heard of cloud seeding before, but for the first time, I heard that there is evidence that there was cloud seeding prior to these floods. We as a society have always had this sci-fi view of our weather. You know, we always feel like somebody's manipulating it, but are they really? Because we're made to feel like we're conspiracy theorists when we think of that, right? I mean, really, we are. When we start saying our government is manipulating, you never hear me tell this, talk about government weather manipulation. I figured it's some type of, political talking point until I hear Chris Prather talking about cloud seeding and explaining the process. And I'm like, excuse my language, cover your ears, Christian folks. Them motherfuckers. That's the first thing that popped out of my mouth. I'll be damned. Is the second. And I keep thinking about all the hurricanes, all the tornadoes, all the flooding that we've had. And we were made to believe when we say that it's possible that our government is manipulating our weather, and we look like tin hat conspiracy theorists. I don't touch the subject because I feel like a tin hat conspiracy theorist. Don't touch the subject. Whenever you ever heard me talking about environmental stuff on this show, raise your hand if you hear me talking about my advocacy about the environment. If you heard me talk about my advocacy about it being an environmentalist, the old gal that used to smoke, the ones that drill holes in roots and stumps and pours diesel in it when I don't want a stump to grow back, that Bullhorn Betty. Totally. I don't even know if diesel's even. I might get a knock at the door. Charlie Wells might be here writing me a ticket. Well, I'm just saying it might be hyperbole. It might not. You got to prove it, Rick. You got to prove it, okay? You can't give me a ticket until you can prove that I did it. I've covered up the evidence at this point. I'm just saying. So, you never hear me talking about environmental issues here. Ever. And so hearing that there's this thing called cloud seeding that can force clouds, they put some type of chemicals in the water. They have large places that they pour chemicals. Now, I want people to understand this. And when that is evaporated up into the clouds, it's like a chemical process that forces that cloud to hold more water. Why would anybody want to hold more water? Because in California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, you guys know of one thing. What have they been known for years? Desert. No water. So for a way of survival and a way of, keeping more water in certain areas, they do this cloud seeding for purposes of droughts. Because during drought time, the clouds can hold more water. When they release, they drop more water on the drought areas. But we're hearing that this type of situation happened. We have to remember water rose at such a level that seems almost out of a sci-fi movie. I saw it came in like, it came in like a tidal wave in the middle of Texas. In the of roads flooded, and I can't even see where the water is coming from. They have no lakes. They have no streams. It's almost as if there was just a massive bucket just released the area, and it only had a path to go in, and it weaved and wound it and took anything and everything out of its path. Is it a result of this cloud seeding or other weather manipulation? Weather manipulation, folks. Mind blown. This is the first time the public has had an inclination, something concrete, factual, that we can put our touch, feel, and see. Weather manipulation is real. And it's scary now. Because I look around, because you guys know how I feel. I am a conservative, I am a Republican, and out of all the politicians, I trust Donald Trump the most. Why? Because he's not a flippin' politician. Everybody else in my purview is part of the swamp. There are a few trusted politicians that I have that I feel aren't part of the swamp, or I only have a minor toe in the swamp where they have to navigate it, so they're in it, but they're not the sea creature. But I don't trust our government. Ever since COVID-19 hit and they shut our country down, they could not do that. Our laws limit our government. We do not live in a communist country. Our government works for us, and for the first time, they told us what we could not do. We could not even exercise the law. They violated every single one of us. Every single one of us, millions and millions of us that reside here in the United States. And that was my first, because, you got to think about this. Let me break it down for you. Who teaches us? Who teaches us? Our government. Who educates us on the law? Our government. If our government didn't really want us to be knowledgeable, wouldn't they say start changing the itinerary from science and education to maybe sexual exploitation? Have we not just seen that it go on in our school systems over the last decade? Have we not? I certainly have. I don't know what you guys have been watching. But we got some serious problems here. And I keep thinking about the floods that we've seen in North Carolina. And we know how grimy and how much certain political powers want to keep their power. Did they flood North Carolina to prevent them from voting? We have to ask the question now. We have to ask what about that Category 5 that slammed into Siesta Key? Who did that? Was that natural or man-made? How about the fires? How about the droughts? We now have to ask ourselves, is this a product of our government's manipulation on us? Because to be honest with you, it makes me ask the question. I started asking questions during COVID-19. Before that, I was an ostrich. I had my head in the sand and thought my government actually gave a shit about me. And now I'm looking at all these children. 161 people missing. And I keep wondering, did our government do that? Because now I have to ask that question. Because now we know for a fact there is a thing called weather manipulation. There is a thing called cloud seeding. There is a thing where they put chemicals in water. I thought we were anti-chemicals in waterways. No? I thought we wanted to close down all the phosphate mining. No? So it's okay to add chemicals to the water when we want to flood our communities. But not to fertilize our water, our grass. Make that make sense. Weather manipulation. I can't even tell you or begin to tell you how angry I am today. We finally have evidence. Anyways, let's get on to the sad part. Now we have to, again, ask ourselves. We have to now ask ourselves, is this a product of our federal government or cloud seeding? I can't believe I'm actually saying that out of my mouth and not feeling like a conspiracy theorist. I think I'm literally sickened to my stomach at this moment.
Update on the casualties from the catastrophic flooding in Texas on the 4th of July. Texas Governor Greg Abbott confirming today 110 people were killed and at least 173 people are still missing across the state. Crews are pressing on by air, by boat, and on land.
If all of those 173 people are also deceased that are missing, we're going to have a body count that might creep up over 300. That's heartbreaking. I heard that there's an entire family gone. A beautiful family, brand new baby, two older siblings. There 1 minute, gone the next. Like that. I saw some images that recorded up until they were cut off. And somebody was screaming, "The water's coming, the water's coming." And the man poked his head out of the door, and you seen this huge wave. And you seen breaking, and then the camera just went black. And you just have to think, was that entire family just wiped out? Because it looked like it took the whole damn house down in one fell swoop. So if you're wondering how did so many people lose their life, they were probably in their house and sleeping. And before they even knew what hit them, their whole entire roof is on top of them, pushing them into water. They're waking up drowning. There's no possibility of survival in a situation like that. You don't know what's going on. You're waking up and you realize you're underwater. And you got a huge roof laying on you. I can't imagine.
To learn more about the victims, ABC's Jacqueline Lee is on the ground in Texas with more.
The death toll rising in Texas as officials announce more than 85 bodies have been recovered in Kerr County alone, more than 100 dead statewide.
To put this into perspective, just in the Kerr and Kendall counties alone, there are far more fatalities than there were in Hurricane Harvey.
Navigating difficult terrain and armed with a walking stick, hiking boots, and a lot of faith, Robert Brake Jr. has been desperately searching for his missing parents since Friday. Their cabin washed away in the floods.
The Grimes Funeral Home was just set up initially as a morgue. We checked with them hourly, walking up.
So do you think that this son here needed to be told he needs to go out and search for his parents? I think this is important, an important segue. I didn't think I was going to stop and talk about this point. But this man is concerned about where his parents are. Do you think he has any concern that they met with foul play or anything like that? No. But his parents are missing, and what has he got on? He's got a walking stick, walking boots, and a freaking backpack. Because that's what families do. And if anybody tells you otherwise when they're trying to explain these cases or why a parent, say like Malehya, just disappears the day after her children are reported missing and never goes out and searches for them, does that make sense to the human makeup? Like, I'm sitting here looking at this and it's like, he is compelled to do this. He knows that he needs to be out there searching for his parents. And I think this is important because I think this shows the truth of how humanity truly is. When you have a missing loved one, you put on your boots, you get a walking stick, you throw a backpack on, and you get out there and you go find your loved one. I think this embodies every human being, normal human being that's not responsible for a heinous crime. Just saying. Just my opinion. Take it for what it is.
To them, give my parents information, the picture.
And let's not even get into hashtag Katie Proudfoot or hashtag Chris Proudfoot. Let's not even begin to get into that. Because they've never, in an entire year, except for a photo op, ever once searched for their son. And again, do you think this man here, I don't know, he might be military trained. He might be. He looks like he's got the physique for military training or law enforcement body type of individual. But isn't that the same type of mentality and demeanor that we have in Chris and Katie? Being Navy trained in the Navy. I hear Katie's receiving some type of compensation from our federal government for the time that she served in the Navy, even now, which I find highly disturbing. That our federal government is funding her when she disappeared a child. But I digress. We're still waiting on Sumner County to pull their head out of their ass.
You were hoping not to see anything and hear anything.
Desperately searching for his missing parents since Friday. Their cabin washed away in the floods.
The Grimes Funeral Home was just set up initially as a morgue. We checked with them hourly, walking up to them, giving my parents information, the pictures. You were hoping not to see anything and hear anything. When you didn't, you had an ounce of hope.
But this morning, he realized they weren't coming back home.
But if my parents being gone meant the world got to be a better place, got to be a better place for just one day. People were kind, treated each other with kindness and love, and people prayed a little harder.
And he's hurting. You can hear it in his voice. He's hurting. This is what you expect from people that are missing loved ones and are hurting because of it. This is what normal people do for their loved ones. The ones that can. Now, granted, if he was in a wheelchair or bedridden or had mobility issues, who knows? He might still be out there.
Kindness and love, and people prayed a little harder and brought them closer to faith. I'm willing to accept that loss.
At a press conference earlier today, officials pressed about the timing of notifications during the flash flooding.
Right now, this team up here is focused on bringing people.
Yeah, you know what? While you're sitting there talking about how you're in your team, let me just be very clear here. I'm not in here to place blame on anybody right now. Right now, I agree. We have children out there that need to be reunited, dead or alive, with their families. We got victims out there, dead or alive, that need to be reunited with their families. That is the top priority. That is absolutely the top priority. But you're at a freaking press conference. You got all these people standing behind you. Instead of you flipping your bird up at people proverbially and telling them about all these children, answer the blessed question. Did you notify the people or not? Take ownership. Because we wouldn't have to be looking for all these people if there was a flippin' notification. So instead of arguing, it's either yes or no. Answer the question. If it wasn't done, find out why and make sure it never happens again. But avoiding all of this is not fruitful at all. Sorry, If you're wondering why the lag is, because I had a document open that just keeps spinning advertisements, and it kind of causes a lag, but I'm having a lag on here even just with me, so bear with it.
That's our focus. All those questions will be answered, but the priority right now
You're there?
is bringing them up here.
I want you guys to see this. It's a yes or no question. He spent more time trying not to answer the damn question than answering it. You're wasting time, sir. And let me tell you, if I was in that press conference, I would tell you just like that, answer the damn question. It's been almost a week. It's been 5 days. You guys know whether there was a notification or not. You're going to have to answer that question at some point. You might as well do it now. Take ownership, show your backbone, show your integrity, show your character, show your class. If you are really sorry and really worried about these people, you will tell them the truth. You will quit lying to them. No notification was sent. Just tell them. Be done with it and move on. I'm sick of it being a topic of conversation. The answer is no. There was no notification.
Focused on bringing people home.
You know how I know there was no notification? Because if there was a notification, they would have no problem saying there's a notification and getting back to the children. But they're spending 10 minutes here arguing about why they shouldn't answer that right now. And, oh, the bleeding heart for the kids. Well, we wouldn't be out here with the kids if a fucking notification was sent out. Answer the question, because I don't want to place blame here. I'd like to focus on the victims. But I can't stand this when we have law enforcement do this nonsense right here. Now, I understand that they have they have to mitigate their own personal damages, because I feel like they will be liable at some point for something. And there's a lot of victims here, and they're children, and those bleed at the court's heartstrings. Juries, when they see those babies' faces, they're going to sink this county. I get that. Trust me, I've worked for attorneys. I'm dealing with law right now. It's one of these things, okay? So they're not wanting to answer this question because they do not want to acknowledge the liability of this. That's not good enough. Because at the end of the day, the public is liable. None of these individuals up here is liable for a damn thing. You know who's going to be paying those court proceedings? The people, the taxpayers. Answer to the people that are footing this bill, because it's going to be a massive one for this community, and they have a right to know.
That's our focus. All those questions will be answered, but the priority right now is bringing people home.
You are dodging
During
the
his
question.
cabinet meeting, President Trump confirming he plans to visit Texas on Friday.
We don't want to get in anyone's way, because that's what happens. The president goes and everyone's around focused on. I don't want anyone to focus on us.
And we're learning more about the victims. 8-year-old Mary Grace Baker died in the floods. 13-year-old Blair Harbor and 11-year-old Brooke Harbor staying with their grandparents when the flash flooding hit. Their bodies found together 15 miles down the river the next day. And the man you heard from earlier who is missing his parents says he will continue searching, but also to help others find their loved ones. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Kerrville, Texas.
Tragic update on the.
So, as you guys can see, it's a tragedy. So, wanted to give you guys an update. Yeah, this flooding stuff really does bother me for a variety of reasons, and more importantly, because of this whole avoidance and stuff related to the notification. It was even their own mayor said he did not receive a notification. Okay, so the notification was not sent. Avoiding the question is not going to be fruitful for discussions, because we've got a lot of dead babies. This should not have happened. And people want to know how it did. And because of that, they need to just be transparent. At the end of the day, if it wasn't done, it wasn't done. The public shouldn't have to wait for those answers. Is it going to cause a little more outrage? Yeah. But that's their job. The financial toll is going to be bared by the public. All the taxpayers are going to bear the cost of all of this. Not them. They're only going to have reputational costs. And I'm sorry, your reputation means squat to me when we're picking up 23 children between the ages of 5 and 9 out of waters. Reputation, not my problem. The truth, on the other hand, I'd prefer not having to slam law enforcement. I know that what they're dealing with right now has to be very, very difficult for them. They have to see a mistake, the results of a simple mistake. And it's got to be very difficult for them to deal with. And I can't imagine. But again, we hire leaders and pay them a lot of money in times of need to tell us the truth. And when they withhold the truth, it pisses me off because they work for us. We shouldn't have to beg them to tell them what we demand. And if I was in that community and this was the way we were being treated by our government, take note and vote the crap out. No community deserves to be treated like this. Those are the representatives. We hire them so they tell us the truth in events like this. We hire people to represent us. Where is the representation for the people in that press conference? There was none. They were covering their own behinds. Not good enough for me. You take ownership of your positions, you do them well, and you do them transparently. Because that is what the American people demand. This is not a criminal investigation. So you don't have the duty to shut your pie hole. We don't need to make the matters worse. Answer the questions the public has. That is my suggestion. All right, guys, now we're going to move over to Nova Scotia. Give me just a second. This is driving me crazy, and I don't see anything that should be lagging my system. Okay, I can delete this one just to be on the safe side. Make sure that's not doing anything to the system. Give me just a second, guys. There's some kind of lag here, so I'm going to have to... It's definitely with Google. Because it's just cranking. It doesn't seem like it knows what it wants to do. Give me just a second. I'm still trying to figure out where the issues are. Okay, that shouldn't have any advertisements. That should be holding anything up. So what's this one? Oh. That would be holding it up. Right there. Okay, so I did find the culprit. Damn it. This is my morning work. This is my videos. Oh well. I'll have to redo the work. Took me about an hour, but this should fix the problem. If I can get Google to fucking work. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, I just get irritated. All these things going on. My Google's not working. It won't even shut down. Maybe I can just start shutting them down one at a time. It's not closing my tabs down. It's getting crazy. Give me just a second. I have never went to close a Google thing out and push the X button and sit here and not close it out. I've never had a situation like that before. It's literally locking up my system. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Jesus. Oh, golly. I hate this. Guys, I'm going to have to refresh. You're going to have to bear with me. My system. I don't know what else to say. Oh, maybe you got it? Nope. Oh, it did. Okay, well, it seems like it got everything that it needed to have. So, but it's not working right. So I'm going to still refresh if I can, because my whole system is just jammed up right now. All right, guys, I've got to power down. It won't even let me refresh. It literally won't let me refresh. Bye, guys. We'll be right back. Hopefully that fixed it. I don't know what caused the jamming of it, but now I've got to go through all here and pause all these flipping videos for our afternoon show because it now is affecting my afternoon show because it's already set up. I fucking hate StreamYard. I don't know if this is StreamYard or if this is, but I don't like saying the word hate, but I'm getting to the point where I absolutely am miserable using this nonsense. It's so flippin' annoying. All right. All right, now that I've just been frustrated to all hell, let's go ahead and look at the case of Lily and Jack, which I still can't find it because, again, guys, give me just a second. I'm ready to close this show out, like literally ready to close this show out. I'm so frustrated with all this mess right now. It's got me all jacked up. Let's try this. All right, so we're on the case of Lily and Jack Sullivan. We went over the flood victims. Now we're kind of coming to the Lily and Jack Sullivan case. Lily and Jack Sullivan disappeared from their home May 2nd, 2025 in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, Canada. And as you see, we have a video here. This is from another content creator. I'll have to wait until I'm done with this to find out what the content creator's name is, but they have about 2,700 subscribers. And in this video, they are going over what we went over yesterday because I, kind of chewed Haley out because of some of the comments she made that just really enraged me. It's like the self-awareness of these people in the situation that we have and being just okay with Malehya never searching for her children, taking off the day after her children disappeared. And they're saying, oh, well, we none of us know what happened. Well, you know what? If you don't know what happened, none of us know what happened. But we definitely know Malehya and Daniel are responsible for whatever happened. One or the other, or both of them. They are the ones that are responsible for why these children have disappeared. And then Daniel's in a bathroom smoking meth. And then Malehya's acknowledging to her family he's been smoking meth for the last 2 years. No woman that does not do that stuff is going to stay with a man that does that stuff. I'm sorry, you're just not going to do it. Especially if you've only been dating this amount of time. Now, if you guys were in a 20-year relationship and somebody fell into a bout of substance abuse, there's a little differences there. But a young lady like Malehya, she's not going to settle down with a man that's in the bathroom half the night smoking meth. Unless she's in the bathroom smoking meth with him. Because nobody could understand why she left her hoity-toity, semi-hoity-toity lifestyle to go live in a trailer in the backwoods in dirt. And you saw her children just a few short years ago looking like, tens. She always had them dressed to the nines, had them always looking so cute, and they had such personality. And then after she gets with Daniel, they're starting to wear dirty clothes. Their hair's not being washed. That does sound like she's got some substance abuse, no? It sure is indicative of behavior. So I get very upset with her friend Cheryl, which I truly do believe she went out with Cheryl so they could get high, because she had been stuck up her mommy's booty, and all the spotlights are on her and her movements. So I'm sure going to the substance abuse house is not really in the top. Nobody wants to deal with her because they don't know if she's being followed by law enforcement or what have you. So maybe the day out was just so she could feel good, which is sick, since we don't know whether her children are feeling anything at all anymore. And for a mother not to be going crazy, not to be, do you think Whitney Decker's mom, or Whitney Decker, the mom of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, do you think she's telling herself, I shouldn't stay in the house, I need to get out, I need to, move on with my life? Do you think she's telling herself that? Do you? Do you think any parent that's missing their child and truly missing their child is saying that? But it's not that. It was something about the title of this video and what was going on in this video that kind of sparked my curiosity, and it made me start thinking. There was a blanket about a mile or two down the road in the tree. I don't believe the story that it was on the door and somehow just flew off like a little, leaf on a windy day and was just carried 2 miles away. You're talking about a flippin' blanket here. Okay? I thought it was by the footprint. Then I started saying if it's by the footprint, it's staged. But it's not by the footprint. It's in a tree down the road. Very peculiar. Is that an indication of where the kids might be? In the area where that blanket or fibers of the blanket or pieces of the blanket were found? Were these children wrapped in a blanket when they were removed from the house? Because I'm starting to think that that is exactly what happened. And if I believe that they were wrapped in a blanket and that's how that blanket got down their road and into the tree, then I have to think that maybe it accidentally flew into the tree, and maybe that is a marker of where we need to be, conducting our searches in that general area. I don't believe Malehya would have buried them, but it makes me wonder what happened to them. I don't believe she just took them off and left them. In that Hutchinson case, that's what the mom was going to do. And she ended up driving off while her son was holding onto the side of the car. And that's what killed him. But she was just going to leave her kids there at a park with no supervision. Anything could have happened to them and just drive off and never look back. You would think Malehya may have done something like that, but then we would have found her kids, but we haven't found her kids. So now we know that something more has happened. I was just reading this morning that this pediatrician from Oklahoma came to Florida to vacation. And she was in a divorce with her husband and in a major custody dispute over her daughter. So she decided to rent a short-term vacation rental, probably an Airbnb or a VRBO. And when they checked in, she says her and her daughter fell asleep together in the bed, and she awoke around 3:30 and her daughter was missing. And she went to the pool. Pediatrician. Went to the pool and her daughter was in the pool and she couldn't swim, so she couldn't even get her daughter out of the pool. Very sad case. Mom, just wanting to have a vacation with her daughter, and her daughter gets out of this pool home, doesn't know how to swim and drowns. Wow, just tragic. Tragic for a family vacation. Come to find out, the child had no water in her lungs. and appeared to have bruises on her mouth and inside her cheeks, and appeared to have been suffocated with a pillow and then dumped in the water. Her mother did that to her. Her mother did that to her. And so now she's being extradited back to Florida as we speak.
To live somewhat of a normal life. She shouldn't be expected to sit in the house and be miserable.
Shouldn't be expected to sit in the house and be miserable. I don't think I have ever heard somebody ever make that comment, because usually they're miserable already because they don't have their children. You know, they're grieving and they can't even think about going outside because the grief and the loss of not having their children with them is so great. They can't even enjoy themselves because all they think about is they should be doing this with their children. So, I mean, I think maybe for Haley not to look like such a dirtbag, I think she needs to think about how she would act if something happened to her own son. And if Malehya is not mimicking those actions, maybe she needs to quit saying there's no evidence that Malehya has done anything. We don't know what happened. Well, you know something happened because the lady ain't acting right. This is her half-sister. She knows her better than anybody, right? She knows how she acts when she's lying and being deceptive. She knows if something's not right with her sister. She knows if her sister's on substances or not. She knows that this whole situation, you can hear it in her voice. She knows something isn't right, but she's going to bat for her half-sister. And my question is why? If this was my half-sister and she was acting that way, I wouldn't go to bat for her. I'd be going to bat for the kids. I'd be fighting for them, not Malehya. But you don't hear her fighting for them. You hear her justifying Malehya's actions. And that's why I don't like Haley. Because she's too clueless. And if you're this stupid, then maybe you should shut your pie hole. And it's rude for me to say that. And I know that people are like, I can't believe she'd say that. She's just trying to help. I get it. But is she really helping? Because I'm enraged every time she opens her mouth because she just doesn't seem to see. She just doesn't have a clue. She is clueless and sounds like she has an attitude. If her and her family doesn't want the world breathing down their neck or them looking like D-bags, then maybe they need to quit worrying about Malehya and start worrying about Lily and Jack. Start representing them. Because from where I'm sitting, they're having no representation but us and the RCMP, because they have no representation from Daniel's side of the family because they're not their family. And they have no representations from these asshats. But Malehya has, oh my God, poor Malehya. Fuck Malehya.
She can have a life too, right? She just, we don't know what happened. I only know from what I was told. I obviously wasn't there when the kids went missing, but she deserves to not be ridiculed as well, right? I've kept pretty quiet. I have a son of my own, right? Lily and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch on Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day one. Okay. It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door.
I wish she wouldn't just say this as fact. She should say, I was told it was used for a window or door. Because let's face it, none of their family's been out there. So how would she know? And that's what irritates me. Because I don't believe, if it was on a door or a window, I believe it was on there the morning that they disappeared. And it was just easy. It was an opportunity. It was right there that they could be wrapped up in and carried out. She is very young and very
at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But
like you can't, like, they can't figure this out for themselves. Like, there's drugs in the home. She hasn't had any communication with the family in years. And the children are now missing. She was the only one up that morning calling the school and being out the back door. That morning, called the school at 6:18 people said they saw her out there at 6:15 coming into the door. So now she's the only one up. The children are now missing by 10. Again, she was the only one physically up. Remember, she kept saying the whole time, Malehya has told us. Let's listen to this. Didn't she say she didn't see her kids that morning? That it was only Daniel? I just thought about this. So if she didn't see her children that morning and she was the only one up, how would she know that the children were sick to call them into school sick at 6:18? If she had not put her eyes on the kids and she was in bed sleeping, how did she make the call to the school? And why was she observed outside of the home at 6-something in the morning? Aw, thank you. Daniel said Malehya took 2 sweaters. She unalived these kids. Question is how. Thank you, Danielle, for becoming the newest member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room. Welcome aboard, love bug. Oh, I missed some. Look at this. Let me go through all of these. We got Southern Charm that says, thank you, buddy, for all your hard work. Thank you so much. He's Mystery, soon to be Gigi, says, good morning, BHB and Coffee Club. Well, good morning to you. Our beautiful It's Me Jen says, say mother chicken. Well, I told you I was going to be cussing this week. I need to get it out. I need to purge my system, and then I'll be a good girl for the next month or two. At least semi-good girl. I got a lot of frustration, and it's like, one case after another. It's just, sometimes I don't know. Jen gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell It's Me Jen thank you. And for the person, the recipient, the family member that received this coveted Bullhorn Betty membership, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room. Welcome aboard. Lady for Justice, thank you so much. And Strawberry, that is very interesting. A sweater for one, a sweater for the other. I still feel wrapping, like covering up, rolling up. So now this is good. This is good information. We need to be looking for brush. Move the brush. It seems like she would have laid them down, covered them up, maybe moved some stuff on top of them. Something like that, potentially. I don't know. I just know that she's the one that appears to have been moving that morning, from what I'm understanding. All right. God bless you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And Donna, good morning, Betty and chat. Well, good morning to all of you beautiful people. Thank you for all your love and your support. Jen, yes, both sisters. How bizarre. I don't know who that's for. Aw, thank you, Lady for Justice, reminding everybody to hit that like button on your way in or your way out. Mysteriously just happened to end up in a tree. Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. This just doesn't make sense. I really think that might be, just a little sign from God, like some things happen, kind of like Vinnie Harp, right? Vinnie Harp. Could he, there was other places he could have went that he would never have been stuck. Nobody would have ever known that he was out in Shade Mountain. But something happened. He did get stuck, and he was known to be out there. What if this is a similar situation? She didn't want anybody knowing she left the house, but there is proof that she did leave the house. And now we've got an item from the house a mile down the road in a tree. And we don't know how high in the tree, how low in the tree. Is it from her, holding somebody like this and the tree scratching and maybe ripping it apart or ripping it or something like that? We don't know. Like this is so subjective. A piece of the blanket being in the tree. What was the size of the piece of blanket? where was it in the tree? Was it at the very top of the tree? Was it closer to the bottom of the tree? Did some of the branches kind of come down to arm or shoulder length? The description could show different images depending on whose mind is hearing the description. It's not definitive. It's not, it's subjective. It's subjective. There's a piece. How big's the piece? What part of the tree? What's the location? Was it on the right of the side of the road, left side of the road? We don't have those details, so we don't know. Is it just a little fiber that was just on the tree? I mean, what are we looking at here? We don't know. So it's hard to decipher what that truly does mean without a visual aid, in my opinion. And there might be some visual aids out there. Maybe somebody does have it. It does sound like there was a picture. He was afraid the kids might be found with them. Yeah, but she seems to be the instigator of all this. I'm going to tell you, I don't put a lot of stock in Daniel after hearing the math allegations and stuff like that. I mean, even the Coca-Cola allegations, I wasn't cool with. But definitely, if math is involved, I'm really, really, really hesitant. I'm very cautious about what is being said by Daniel. I'm very cautious what's being said from Malehya or her family, because we already had some family members that have already tried to disinform people. We've got her half sister trying to shame people and trying to do this what deception detective refers to as emotional blackmail. This whole entire network of people are not, they're not smart folks. Okay. And there's something seriously wrong with these people. To think that we can't expect her to. Why can't we expect her? Every freaking mother that I know that loves their children, that has children missing, can't even think of a fucking beach day. But Malehya just, man, we can't expect her to be miserable. I can't. We're through Wednesday, Sonia. You only have to deal with like 2 more days. Well, 3 more days of it, because on Sunday, that's I'm not going to cuss after Sunday. So, because Sunday's when I'm doing my script. Not my script, but my outlines of my shows for the week.
Yeah. Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Malehya for identification.
See, it sounds like it's a bigger piece of fabric than what we're anticipating. That's why I said it's subjective, because one minute I'm getting this vibe that it's this little section or a little tear or something. But listen to how they say this. Hold on, let me get back here.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket.
Of the blanket, not the piece of the blanket. And when it's said like this, and she's not correcting him, it sounds like it's a bigger piece than what we're thinking. Like it might have tore, like when somebody's grabbing something and you have a tore blanket and something just snags it just a little bit and tears the rest of it off type of thing. Like a big piece, like a big strip. Could it be something like that? I don't know. It could be. It could be.
And took it back to Malehya for identification?
Yes, Hayden and I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then she said, yeah, it is. And so you called the police, who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah, no, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there, and it was
in an open spot. I'd like to know where that blanket was. I'd like to see it on a map. If anybody connects with Canada, with these people, if we can get Haley to kind of pinpoint it on the map where this blanket was, if they have a picture of it and willing to show the size or express the size of the piece that they found and the location in the tree, that would go a long way in helping us kind of decipher what this means.
Wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious, you know?
Yeah, so with search and
all just a little mysterious. So they know that this is not right. They know that in their gut there's something wrong. I feel like they're trying to justify because they just don't want to acknowledge that Malehya would be capable of doing something like this. And I think Malehya is exhibiting all types of signs. It looks like she had some major issues when she was a teenager, just by the videos I'm seeing with her going on YouTube and talking and stuff like that. Haley, if you're in the bushes, come chit chat. Yeah, absolutely. Come chit chat. I'd like to know more. You know, I don't want to think that she looks like to be honest with you, she looks like my friend Crystal. I had a friend Crystal that I went to school with in middle school to high school. It was one of my sister's friends. And my sister and her graduated. I was still in school and she was walking to her boyfriend's. We did not know she had any medical problems and her heart stopped. She rolled into a ditch and nobody saw her and she died right there. Just literally a few months after graduating high school. And her face looks so much like Crystal's face. The hairstyle too. That was the way she had her hairstyle back then. But long story short is she seems like a nice girl. I don't want, in all fairness, I don't want to be nasty to her. I don't want to be, you know, but I want them to use their brains and common sense and quit trying to play the public. There's the playtime's over. But it does seem like in reality, she wants to help, you know, she's not coming out here. She's not asking for anything. So it's not, to me, not a 15-minute of fame thing. And the reason why I say that is because when I watched this in its entirety, it seemed like she kind of said what she wanted to say and she got off the show. And that's important because that shows a behavior. It shows that she's not here just trying to speak and talk and get attention and stuff like that. She came out, she said kind of what she wanted to say, and it was time for her to go. And so I just think that they're trying to be strong for the family, but it's going to cause them heartache if they keep being, keep trying to justify Malehya, because there's no justification in this. We've got 2 children that are deceased. I'm going to say it like that because law enforcement has told us that there's no possibility of survival. And so we have 2 children that are deceased, and we've got a whole family and network of people justifying a mother that's not acting like a grieving mother with 2 deceased children. She's acting more like Casey Anthony than she is like a grieving mother. And that's a problem for me. It's a problem for the public here in the United States of America. And it's moreover a problem there in Canada, because people in Canada, just like people in America, love their children and want to protect them. They're not a third world country. They are a civilized, country. So they value human life. So I have to think that many people out in Canada aren't very pleased with Malehya either. But the family, you don't unite behind her. You unite behind these victims, which are your nieces and nephews, and their names are Lily Sullivan and Jack Sullivan, not Malehya Brooks-Murray. So as soon as the public starts seeing Malehya's family actually appear like they care about the children instead of her, instead of just her, this is their family. You can't pick your families. We still expect them to be strong for Malehya, no matter what the situation or outcome is. That's what families do, whether you guys like it or not. But families, even in worst case scenarios, should come together. That's just my opinion. That's what families do. Families are there in the good times and in the bad. Okay? And we have to expect that. We don't want the people that are there for the good times and bad times getting involved in crimes to help their family member. That's a no-no. But we don't look down upon families that are family members to these people, nor do we look down upon them for being there for them. However, you can be there for them and not support their conduct, or be there for them and support the victims and still be family with them, but letting them know that you are on the side of the victims. And right here, we have 2 young children that are victims of something. Are they victims of Malehya, or are they victims of Daniel? Or are they victims of both? I don't know. But we do know ground zero is that trailer. Ground zero is Malehya. Ground zero is Daniel Martell. It bothers me a lot that Malehya doesn't want to be sitting home miserable. Usually when you have 2 children missing, like I said earlier, you're already miserable. You don't want to leave your house. You don't want to do anything. I know this well. This is my job. I deal with a lot of parents. Trust me, I know this well. I know this well. This is not right. And I understand that this may be Haley's first experience in something like this, but it's not mine. Honey, open your eyes. Don't let Malehya ruin your reputation. And that goes for her entire family. Be the strength for these children, not for Malehya. Malehya has some explaining to do, and you are the family that can hold her feet to the fire and have her explain what the hell happened. Because something happened, and she knows. And when you guys keep giving her a pass and acting like she doesn't know, you're becoming part of the problem. I'd rather not ever talk to her again than not ask her what the hell happened. Just saying. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. Don't forget, we have a show that's going to be a standing show at
in that area?
3:30 in the afternoon. For Sebastian Rogers, we've been going back over the 3 interviews, the 3 first interviews, and we've already designated 5 hours to the cause. The problem is we've only covered about 10 minutes of Dutch's video in that whole entire 5 hours. So and I was trying to do it all in one show, a very long show, albeit, but I was trying to do it in one show. And clearly we already have a month of content. So we'll be here at 3:30 for the foreseeable future, making sure that we keep Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers front and center on the Bullhorn Betty channel. So thank you guys all for your love, your support, all of the milestones. I love seeing the green. That was absolutely beautiful. And we still have Strawberry, and I missed you, SRK. Oh, good gracious. Look at that. Thank you so much for that. BHB needs another. We don't need another cuss. I'm getting it out of my system this week. That's why I forewarned everybody before this week got started that it is built in. Granted, I don't script. Sometimes I script. Now that I've got a system down, every now and again I will script something. But these shows typically aren't scripted. We have an outline. What does that mean? It means that I generally have everything that I want to talk about and in the order I want to talk about it and how many minutes I want to provide on that particular topic of discussion. But I don't like the scripts because, things just change. And when you start having conversations, you get off the script. Next thing, it's just a lot of wasted time. So I find that the outlines for the show are really the best for me and the way I work. And it keeps it all real, keeps it all authentic, but it keeps us also, kind of in between the bumpers. Because if you guys were with me a few years ago, we were always off the bumpers. We were always off the rails on here. I am a person that just doesn't really, if people, pick at me or whatever, I have no problem defending myself on here. But I do controversial stuff. It's kind of my shtick, it's kind of my thing on here. I do controversial stuff. I say controversial things. I do things, whatever it does, to make sure that the victims that I cover get their attention. And we are very, very well. We do very, very well. And I have a way of making people pay attention. As you guys know, many of you guys are here. And it's by the use of some videos, it's by the use of me getting frustrated, me vocalizing that, me raising my voice. Those are the kinds of things that draw you guys in to watch me. Why? And I'm transparent about it. I know it. It's because you guys feel the passion, and because I have no problem saying some of the things that you guys probably wouldn't say to the public. And I do that because I feel like it needs to be said, And when people are too nice in society, we say what people want to hear, not what they need to hear. And I don't want to fall into that trap. I like to be authentic. I like to be real, and I like to do crazy shit. And I like advocating for kids. And I like combining all of that into one impact. So that's kind of where we are. If you guys like that kind of stuff, sign up. If you're coming by here and you're on replay and you're like, she's kind of hot, she's hot. She aight. Well, then hit the subscribe button. You never know. I might go from aight to spectacular. Who knows? But we do have a high batting average here on this channel, and I love that. I love that about this. So, we do good work, and that means that you guys are doing your part too. Because for me to be effective, that means that the stuff that you guys send me are filled with a lot of factual information that I can bring to the show. If you guys sent me a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff like that, we'd probably be having a lot of different conversations, but not the ones we needed to have. So that's a great indicator of you guys, the audience, that are always sending me information and keeping me up to date on the topics of conversation, because I'm one person. I can't be on 50 to 100 different websites talking about this, but you might have favorite content creators here, and this person might have different favorite content creators, and this person, next thing you know, I'm getting stuff from people I've never seen before that makes sense. So if that's something you like, again, please go ahead and sign up. But for the rest of you guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. I love you. Have a blessed Wednesday. And don't forget to rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, let's try to be kind to one another. And don't be a D-bag like the pediatrician in Texas or that pastor's wife. God bless.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.